What's going on, guys? My name is Aaron. Welcome to my channel where we talk all things crypto and marketing. We're trying to get some financial independence because of crypto and hopefully some marketing skills in the background. If you are new to this channel, is where I document my journey into the world of crypto and what I'm learning. And today we're going to go over what fundamental analysis is. I am just learning about this. I'm a brand new investor. I started in December. And so I've got like money spread out all over the place, and maybe I need to figure out what fundamental analysis is. And so we'll be going into that. Hopefully it's a little helpful for you as it was for me. I'm following an article that I found, and I just want to share it with you guys. Also, I'm going to be going into my wallet and talking about the Cardano move up and what I'm planning to do there. So let's just go ahead and do that first. I really like sharing my wallet with you now. At first it was a little nerve-wracking. But yeah, because it's just so low and I'm brand new, and so it's a little nerve-wracking. But let's see here. We've got $3,500 in my account here, and or in my wallet. Where am I going? There am I. So I've got 1,000 because Bitcoin went up, and so I invested 1,000. Now it's up like $35. Cardano has moved to $1.30, which is great. I bought at 128. Vethro I bought at 0.017. It's 0.015, I believe now. And VET I bought at 14 cents, and now it's at like 13 cents. And so I'm hoping these will run up. Harmony, I don't even want to talk about Harmony. It's just like a long-term hold or whatever you'd have. Okay, let's get into the fundamental analysis of today. Now, this is by Swissborg and by a lady named Devin Partida, and so I'm very grateful for this. I learned a lot. I kind of knew, I was kind of groping around for information, but this kind of helps stamp everything out. And basically what she says fundamental analysis is that there are two types of analysis. Technical analysis, where you look at the charts and you calculate the triangle and the angle of, the trajectory of a thing, and it goes down and up and or whatever, okay? Maybe I'll get to that one day, but let me just start with the basics. Let me just start with the fundamentals, and maybe you can learn a little bit something too. And she says that what fundamental analysis is basically, it started when people started investing in stocks and securities, what are secure, like companies, I guess. And they wanted to know like a snapshot of everything that was happening around a business. And so it works off the idea that the market could undervalue or overvalue an asset. And so essentially you're going to buy undervalued assets because they're going to go for growth, and you're going to avoid overvalued assets because they're going to shrink back. And so of course we're trying to buy undervalued stocks, but crypto here. And so when it's relevant to crypto is that I like this statistic, there have been more than 1,000 failed coins already. And so that's a little bit of a sobering thought. There are 1,000 projects that have failed. I remember I invested in Viking Swap heavily, and it was like I was making a ton of money, and it was like $18 a Viking coin, but then they let something out. They were like, "Oh no, we're done. This is all over." And the coin just shot down to like 4 cents. I chalked up maybe a couple $1,000 in loss there. So I was like, fundamental, and I didn't do any fundamental analysis. So learn from my mistakes here. And so we're going to get into the meat of this article in today's video, and what are the metrics to consider when doing some fundamental analysis on a project. Basically, she's saying, hey, there's some quantitative and qualitative factors that you could have. Basically meaning there are things that that have direct numbers, like you could tell, okay, that's high, that's low. And there are things that you're like, okay, I need to use my best judgment and my wisdom on whether or not this is going to be a good deal. And I want to use ADA or Cardano as like a test subject for this. And let's just see if this will work. So financial metrics. The first thing she says is market cap, coin market cap. And basically what that means is that the amount of total supply of dollars inside a coin. So let's say like Bitcoin is worth, okay, so like the total crypto market is 2 trillion. Bitcoin is about a little more than 1 trillion. So there's like $1 trillion inside Bitcoin. So the likelihood, and the reason for market cap is a high market cap provides stability, right? $1 trillion isn't going away too soon. If you just come out with a project and there's only a couple investors who invest like maybe 2 million, Okay, if it's a $2 million market cap, that means the project has $2 million. People have put $2 million worth into it. Think of it like a Kickstarter. So like someone created a Kickstarter and they put $2 million in it. Okay, for Kickstarter that's a lot, but for crypto it's not, right? Compared to like the trillions, right? And so if you have a low market cap, it's highly unstable. The possibility of it failing is very high. However, the possibility for growth is enormous. So you could grow from a $2 million cryptocurrency to like $1 billion cryptocurrency, and then you've just like a cajillion x your investment, which is why I look for low market cap or coins that are probably around 50 to 100 million, so that hopefully it'll go to 500 million or even $1 billion market cap. And so I think that's just really interesting. So that high market caps provide stability but less growth, or potential less growth, and low market caps provide more growth potential but less stability. But I want to add an asterisk here, just kind of my opinion. I think that all coins on the market right now are undervalued. I think that cryptocurrency across the board is undervalued in a 10-year time frame. Okay, so I'm investing for 10 years from now. Okay, and if I consider 10 years from now what crypto could be, what Bitcoin and Cardano and Polkadot could be, then it's all undervalued, right? This is what a time to be alive, right? This is the time to start investing and just consider everything undervalued, because in the big scheme of things, if I'm investing, if I bought Cardano at 128 and I believe that it has the potential, or $1.28 per coin, and it has the potential to grow to like $10 a coin, like what's the difference between 128 and 124 and 120? Like I'm trying to figure out this 1 cent point of entry. It's not going to make that big of a difference. However, if I'm day trading, it does make a huge difference. But that's just my opinion to consider. I feel like all coins on the market are undervalued, including Bitcoin, in a time frame of 10 years. Some other things is money, or is supply. So for instance, Bitcoin only has a finite supply of Bitcoin that's out there, and obviously we don't want people adding to the coin. That's just like the antithesis of Bitcoin, and it's just like provides inflation. And so the reason for a finite supply is to counter inflation, and they'll tell you how much supply there is. One thing about this though is there's like supply, and then there's like circulating supply, from what I understand. And it's like circulating, like for Bitcoin, I feel like I read this article that like 60% of Bitcoin owners have they've hodled by themselves together. They don't really sell it. And so there's only 40% of the Bitcoin just kind of circulating around there, or so another article that I read said. I'm not sure, but I think that's important as well. All right, so let's go down to project metrics. This is actually my favorite part of fundamental analysis, is learning what is going on with a project. So the thing she brings up here, the first thing is white papers. White papers are interesting because it's just basically the outline. You know how you get a course syllabus whenever you go to school? It's just the outline of the project's goals, its aspirations. I like how she said here that they want to make sure that it's comprehensive and it doesn't sound overly ambitious, dishonest, or unrealistic. You know what I mean? Like, you know how you get like these like lofty promises of grandeur, and they're just like, yeah, we want to take over the world and revolutionize, blah, blah, blah. You're not trying to hear that if you're an investor. You want to hear, okay, I want a sound plan. I want realistic goals. I want a realistic time frame. I want to know what problem you're solving. And this is basically, this is businesses 101, and this is what I feel most comfortable in. I like to see, okay, there's a problem, and they're providing a solution, and how is that going to work, and what's the time frame? Another thing that they brought up is a team. I thought this was very interesting, is that it's important to see the team. Some coins are anonymous, and those are sketchy as heck, man. You want to stay away from those. But there are other ones that they provide a team, and knowing the people behind the developers behind the project, behind the coin, you could find out their track record. You could find out what they're doing. You could find out if they're responsible. If they're like some sketchy behind dude, from sketchy Sketchersville, you don't want to invest in that guy, because you could invest in it and then all that money is gone. And so the team is really important. Another thing is competitors. I feel like, again, in this time of cryptocurrencies life, I feel like competitors are. I feel like a lot of people can win. I feel like there's a lot of winners out there, right? Cardano, Polkadot, and Ethereum are all competing right now to be like the smart contract competitors, but I don't know how to describe it. I'm new, but I feel like these guys are competing for at least what I heard from BitBoy, and so if Ethereum fails, Polkadot is next in line. If Polkadot fails, Cardano's next in line. But there might be things that Cardano can move up in. And so I would even add to some project metrics like Cardano is stuff like an Africa deal. Like, hey, Africa is going to use Cardano exclusively, or a Coinbase listing. Like there are moves in the market that these individual projects are taking, and you should be taking those into consideration. One way I like to do that is I just like to hop on Google search trends. So like I hopped on Google, let me just start all over. ADA Cardano news, and I hit this, I spell it right. And so they bring out the top stories here, and then I like to view all, and I like to see. And a lot of times there's a lot of like hype articles out there, right? CoinDesk, FX Street News. So like why ADA could run hotter than Bitcoin and make 100x gain or 10x gains. That to me is like, that's just a hype article. I want to see some like, what is Cardano like? If I type in like Africa, like could civil war in Ethiopia affect Cardano? Maybe. I don't know that they had a civil war there. I hope everyone's all right. Charles Hoskinson talks about Cardano Blockchain Africa Conference. So this is good, right? This was 3 weeks ago, but yeah. So like this is where you need to go through. You need to go. You need to just. I mean, you don't need to do anything. I like to go through all these different articles and just kind of read through them all. There's a bunch of them that are just hype, but you just got to sort out. That's what the fundamental analysis is. And so, yeah, I think that's interesting. So this is what I really learned most from this article is blockchain metrics. I had no idea. So I'm just going to basically read from this article. One of the aspects was hash rate. And this is a little technical for me, so help me along here. Hash rate is a crucial blockchain factor to consider as it indicates an asset's security. A hash rate affects how fast users can mine a block on the blockchain. If this figure is higher, miners have a better chance of getting a block reward, and it's harder to perform a successful hack. Basically, what I'm getting from that is that the security of a particular project, the ability for someone to hack it, is based on how fast a miner can solve whatever algorithm problem that they need to keep the blockchain running. And additionally, we want to make sure that everything's secure, like no one can just kind of hack into this. But additionally, not only is the speed of which a miner can hack or can mine a block, but also the interest. This was interesting. Security isn't the only thing investors learn from hash rate. A decreasing hash rate affects not just declining security, but growing disinterest from miners. If users aren't interested in mining a cryptocurrency anymore, it could indicate a lack of profitability. So what basically hash rate is how fast a miner can, mine a block here, mine a block. And so I'm like really on the very edges of my understanding of this. But basically, each block has certain numbers, one of which is called a hash, and someone has to try to figure that out. That's a miner, right? They have to try to decode it, as it were. And so if there's not enough miners doing that work, solving that problem, that little algorithm, well then nothing's going to be done on the blockchain, and so disinterest follows, and then that blockchain isn't active anymore, which is interesting. I just never considered that. So basically, you want to see a lot of activity, is what I'm guessing. You just want to see a lot of activity. Transaction count shows how much activity. I want a blockchain. What it's saying to me, basically, is I want to see a blockchain with a lot of activity. That's what I want to see. I want to see a blockchain with a ton of activity on it. And so the more activity, the higher the valuation goes, in my opinion. And I think that's about it. Then she goes on to try to sell some kind of tool or something like that. I don't know. I mean, Swissborg, this is a pretty good article. I want to learn more about these blockchain metrics and what all that means. This is probably where I'm strongest at, project metrics, and the financial metrics, again, is kind of black and white. You just kind of see what it is. Anyway, Thanks so much, guys, for watching this video. If you like this video or like this type of video where I'm like breaking down articles, go ahead and please give me a like, especially if it's, if you're new here and if you appreciate me showing my wallet and being kind of very open and honest about my journey into cryptocurrency. Please give me a like, subscribe if you want to follow along with me, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.